Did you know that the deaf have their own culture? Did you know it has to be specified as deaf with a capital D rather than deaf with a lowercase d? Did you know the deaf culture differs greatly from the hearing culture? Today we're going to be talking about deaf culture. Deaf culture is greatly varying from hearing culture. I'm currently in a deaf culture and history class along with my final level of learning American Sign Language. I go to many deaf events each month and I have deaf friends, and I also attend a deaf church occasionally. When I say deaf people within my presentation, I'll be referring to people who participate in deaf culture and use American Sign Language as their main form of communication. The aspects of deaf culture can be broken down into three major groups: their arts, their perspectives, and their normals. Let's begin. The first major aspect of deaf culture is their art. They care greatly about their art because it kind of expresses who they are. And when one person within the deaf community makes an accomplishment, it's like they're all making an accomplishment, so all of them celebrate together. Their art is called devia. Devia art is created when the artist intends to express their deaf experience through visual art. Devia can be created by deaf, hard of hearing, or even hearing people, as long as the intention is to create work that is born of the deaf experiences, as was created and stated by The Deaf Way in 1989 and published on a website titled deafart.org. One example of a devia artist is Harry Williams. Harry Williams was born in 1948 and died in 1991. He was originally born hearing to hearing parents, but when he was 18 months old, he lost all hearing due to a medication that he was given. He is well known throughout the entire community, and many people know his name. These are a few of his works. This is my personal favorite. Next, let's talk about their perspectives. Deaf have their own perspectives towards things. For example, honesty. When you ask a hearing person how they feel about your outfit or your hair, they're going to hesitate and not give you the complete right answer. If they don't like it, they're not going to tell you that because they don't want to be rude. But within the deaf community, they are straight up and blatantly honest. They can't hear the hesitation in your voice or the sarcasm in your voice, so all they can be is completely honest. They are also nicer and friendlier than hearing people on some occasions. For example, if you're a hearing person like myself, going in the deaf community and trying to learn more about them and interact with them, they really appreciate it. One example I've had with them is one of my first deaf events I went to. There was this man, and he was sitting all the way across from the building, and I looked at him, and we made eye contact, and he was asking if I was a student, and I told him yes, and he got super excited. Finally, let's move on to the third major aspect of deaf culture. This is their normals. Deaf culture has many different normals that differ greatly from the hearing culture. One of them, in my opinion, that is the biggest is walking right through conversations. It took me a while to get used to this, but say you're on two opposite sides of the hallway with one person standing here and one person standing here. It is expected that you walk right through, rather than just sit there and wait and say, "Excuse me." It makes it awkward when you don't walk right through, and it kind of messes up the conversation. As long as you walk through quickly and don't stop in their line of sight, it's completely alright and not considered rude at all. Another one is they are more touchy. When I mean touchy, I mean like a light grab on the shoulder or tapping the arm. For example, say you're in someone's way. You're not going to ask them to move. You can either grab their arm and slightly tug on it, or just grab their shoulders and move them over a little bit so they get the hint that they need to move, and it's not considered rude at all or inappropriate in any way. They actually prefer it rather than you stopping their conversation and trying to tell them something, because they go on a basis of it's your turn, and you don't talk during each other's. Another one is consistent eye contact. Consistent eye contact and visual attention during a conversation is also expected, as stated on a website titled gallaudet.edu, last accessed on April 5th, 2020. When I say eye contact, I mean maintaining eye contact like you're looking right into each other's eyes throughout the entire conversation. People within the hearing culture don't tend to do this. They can be texting or on their phone or drawing or anything like that and lose eye contact. But within the deaf community and culture, it's considered a little bit rude because that means you don't want to listen to their conversation. It means like you want to pause the conversation and just stop what you're doing. That's the same thing as a hearing person say, stop, I don't want to listen to this right now. Another major different normal is how they stand. For example, on elevators. When you're getting into an elevator and you know there's other deaf people around you, you're not going to walk in and stand back where they're facing your back. It's considered rude. If you walk into an elevator and put your back to someone, that's the same thing as a hearing person saying, how dare you not want to talk to me? Now that we've gone over all the major aspects, let's review. The three major aspects of deaf culture are their arts, perspectives, and normals. These all make up deaf culture. Now that you know more about the deaf culture, if you go to a deaf event, you'll know more about their culture and how they think and how they feel about things, and you maybe can interact a little bit better.